As it gets ready to wrap up its extensive investigation in the coming days, the House January 6 Select Committee published an executive summary on Monday that highlighted a number of findings and claims made against significant witnesses. The committee believes that several individuals close to former President Donald Trump were being less than honest during their testimony, either through evasions or statements that they couldn't recall the answers to inquiries, according to a common theme in the dossier. The committee stated that the alleged memory gaps in some instances were not trustworthy and seemed to be an effort to hide facts. Ivanka Trump, a White House advisor and the daughter of President Trump, is alleged to have acknowledged to the committee that she concurred with Attorney General William Barr, that there was no evidence of election-altering fraud, that the president put pressure on Vice President Mike Pence on the morning of January 6, and that he watched the Capitol shooting on television in real time. In contrast to some, such as Pat Cipollone, the then White House counsel, the panel contends that she knew more than she was letting on. According to the executive summary, Ivanka Trump was not as forthcoming as Cipollone and others about President Trump's conduct, and lacked a full recollection of certain issues. The panel singled out other White House representatives in addition to her. It stated that parts of the testimony of the former press secretary Kayleigh McEnany seemed evasive, as if she were testifying from pre-prepared talking points. McEnany's testimony did not seem nearly as forthright as that of her press office staff, who testified about what McEnany said, the article continued. The committee claimed during their meeting on Monday that former Trump advisor Hope Hicks had also been evasive in her testimony when asked whether she had advised the former leader to call on his supporters to practice restraint. The committee is bluntly criticizing the other's integrity. Tony Ornato, who moved from a senior Secret Service position to become Trump's deputy chief of staff in 2019, before going back to the Secret Service after Trump left office in 2021, is portrayed in the executive summary of the report with a very skeptic attitude. He left the agency in August after the January 6 panel's investigation into his decisions and those made by the agency. The committee asserts that former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows misrepresented Trump's non-intention to visit the Capitol on January 6 in his book. The panel grew more concerned that other witnesses might purposefully withhold what occurred. According to the executive summary, that seemed to be the case with Ornato. Ornato does not recall that he provided Cassidy Hutchinson with the information regarding the SUV, and he also does not remember providing similar information to a White House employee with responsibility for national security, who testified that Ornato recalled providing him with a similar account. The report continues. The committee doubts Ornato's account, the statement reads. The panel also notes that Ornato had access to information regarding Capitol violence on January 6, but was unable to recall whether he told Meadows and Trump, despite having a duty to do so. The executive summary of the report states that the committee has significant concerns about the credibility of this testimony, and that the transcript of his November interview will be made public. Ornato remained cooperative, according to his attorney, and testified truthfully before the committee on 3 occasions. The committee did not fully appreciate or ignored Mr. Ornato's testimony regarding the president's request to go to the Capitol, the senator continued. In addition, the committee makes a general allusion to a scheme to thwart the investigation, while promising further details in the future. According to the executive summary, the committee claims that an unnamed witness testified that she fired a lawyer who was receiving payments for the representation from a group allied with President Trump. The lawyer seemed to advise her to avoid testimony that would reflect poorly on Trump and offered potential employment that would make her financially very comfortable as the date of her testimony approached, the committee claims, adding that the client perceived the lawyer's actions as unprofessional. Without giving names, the panel claims that Trump also made contact with witnesses. The Select Committee is aware of multiple attempts by President Trump to contact Select Committee witnesses. At least one of those circumstances is known to the Department of Justice. In addition, the committee concerns that other witnesses were unnecessarily combative during their testimony, according to the executive summary, and claims that they incredibly pretended ignorance in some circumstances, particularly those whose jobs or income were connected to Trump-affiliated organizations like the American First Policy Institute. The committee highlights another theme of its findings, aside from the evasions and skepticism. None of the witnesses provided proof of election-altering fraud. Some even reneged on statements they had made in public when they were put under oath. Rudy Giuliani, a lawyer for Trump, caused a stir after the 2020 election when he repeatedly claimed that Dominion voting machines had flipped votes from Trump to Joe Biden. As a result, his law license was suspended, and he was hit with a $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit. Giuliani, however, seemed to sing a different tune in his deposition. Giuliani allegedly admitted during his Select Committee deposition that "I do not think the machines stole the election," despite making the claim repeatedly in public, according to the summary of the committee report. When asked by the Select Committee what alleged evidence they found that the election was rigged, other Trump attorneys and supporters Jenna Ellis, John Eastman, Phil Waldron, and Michael Flynn all cited their Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, the executive summary states. The panel claims that documents obtained through subpoenas failed to produce similar proof. Not one of them provided evidence raising genuine questions about the election outcome. In essence, it was a sizable con.